I'm gonna try to catch my breath here. That Vikings game knocked the wind out of me, man. Game of the year, James. Game of the year. Whew. All right. Barely a day passed from the midterm elections before Tennessee conservatives presented some of their very first pieces of legislation, which I can admit I did not expect this one. Tennessee lawmakers now want to make it illegal to perform in drag or burlesque in public spaces. State Senator Jack Johnson said that he was concerned after hearing that there might be some of these performances happening in front of children, which, when you think about it, could happen if there was a pride festival or some sort of parade that was happening. Meanwhile, you have performers and advocacy groups saying they're disappointed that some of the first pieces of legislation from this state is directly targeting the LGBTQ community.
It would devastate our pride parade, our pride festival.
If drag kings and queens are caught performing in public, they could be charged with a misdemeanor. A second offense is a felony. If this becomes law, it would go into effect July 1st of 2023. So we just learned that a government employee working for the Nashville District Attorney's Office made $75,000 a year with little evidence as to what he was doing while he was on the clock. News Channel 5 investigator Phil Williams has been doing months of research on all of these stacks of documents he got from the Nashville District Attorney's Office, and that's when the name Michael Brook came up. Brook retired from the DA's office back in 2020, but we discovered that he still bills taxpayers for 20 hours of work every week.
Doing what?
We don't know. So just based on his timesheet, we realized that he almost always clocks in hours in the middle of the night. Let me just make sure I'm right. Okay. So he swiped into the office 5 times in 2 years. In 11 months, he's logged into the district attorney's computer system 4 times. District Attorney Glenn Funk says this is all on the up and up.
What does he do?
He has worked nonstop to make sure that the transition has gone forward with regards to both the financial pieces of our office as well as the HR pieces and as far as the body cams go.
But we have former state auditors saying this is problematic for a number of reasons.
Working at all hours in the morning, working on weekends and working on holidays. As one of the Spock said in Star Trek, it does not compute.
Not only did Brook log in hours late into the evening, but he did so on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and the 4th of July. So what was he doing all of these hours that he said he was working? We don't really know. We do know he was sending very few emails over these past 2 years, and one auditor says all of this should be enough for the state to step in and run their own investigation.
You've laid out documentation that raised significant questions.
Well, around the country, people are already raving about this new Black Panther movie, and turns out in Nashville, we've got a super fan of our own. Justice Smith said that his wife talked him into buying this replica Black Panther costume, which, again, I'm not sure if his wife had anything to do with it. If you are a huge superhero fan, I get it. You got the costume, it's great. He's a father of 3, huge superhero fan, but he's also a big fan of the late Chadwick Boseman. Boseman, of course, passed away in 2020 of cancer, so Smith decided that he was going to honor Boseman's legacy by dressing up in this costume and going to children's hospitals, going to birthdays, going to celebrations, and just putting a smile back on some of these kids' faces. I just have one last line. You tell me if it's corny or not, okay? I guess it's true what they say. Not all heroes wear capes. It's cheesy. Yeah, but he doesn't wear a cape, but he's a hero no less. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions about the stories you just heard, click the link in the description below. As always, we want to know, what do you think?